We live in an age of influence where what you see, what you think, and even how you feel are carefully scripted and shaped by unseen hands. Governments, corporations, and powerful interest groups have spent decades perfecting the art of psychological operations, better known as PSYOPs. These operations don't just happen in war zones. They're in the media, our politics, and even our daily conversations. The question is, are you being manipulated? Well, if you're here and you're a regular viewer, you probably already know the answer to that. And if you're not a regular viewer and you're not quite sure if you are or you aren't, stick around because we're gonna talk about it. And I want to welcome you to another Grumpy Acres Full Spectrum Preparedness video. This video is an introduction to a series of videos that I entitled Identifying and Battling PSYOPs and Mass Influence. Over the next series of videos, we'll expose the tactics and used to shape public perception, control dissent, and manufacture reality itself. More importantly, we'll show you how to fight back, how to think carefully, recognize deceptions, and defend your mind against manipulation. All right, with that said, welcome everybody. Let's say a quick hi to everybody in the chat. We got Gregory, Starla, Heiji, Leonard, Cousin Jody, Jane. Gregory's back in the house. Gregory was first. That's very unusual for our lives. Welcome, everybody. I know that we were in the middle of the Prepper Homestead Continuum videos. I felt this video was really important to do because it's very timely. It's very timely in the content of it and how it influences. Before we get started, I want to give full credit where it's due here. So I was recently watching a video by a gentleman named Chase Hughes entitled, "Once You Know This, Every PSYOP Becomes Obvious." And in it, he used a phrase, a second chance to say no. Well, if you've been with the channel for a while, you know that one of my walking videos was entitled exactly that. And everything about the subject has prompted me to do a deep dive into the subject because of his video. And quite frankly, it's fascinating. And I thought I'd share it with you and see how you see what you think about it. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you walk away with something to think about and some education here. All right. So segment one, the first thing we're going to talk about exactly what is a PSYOP. A PSYOP, or psychological operations, are techniques used to influence the emotions, motivations, and behavior of individual groups. The tactics have been used for centuries, from wartime propaganda to modern social engineering. But today, PSYOPs are more sophisticated than ever, disguised as news, entertainment, and even grassroots movements. And that's in air quotes because that's a very timely thing that's happening in our country right now in the United States. And in case you don't know, I've got my notes here in front of me, so I'm looking down at this. I'm watching the screen and I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but I'm sticking to the notes so that we can make this quick and hopefully get through it in a timely manner. All right, so what's the objective? The objective is to control public perception, to make you believe an illusion so that you act, vote, or react in ways to serve the interests of those pulling the strings. But these operations follow a pattern, and once you see the blueprint, you can break free. All right, does anybody have any questions so far? If not, I'll go on to segment two, major tactics of PSYOPs. Okay, to begin this, I can't even talk tonight, guys. To begin this journey, let's identify 5 tactics of mass influence that are used against us. The first one, controlled opposition. Do you ever wonder why dissenting voices get so much platform and others are silenced? Controlled opposition is when those in power create or manage opposing groups to steer public frustration in a safe direction. This generates the illusion of choice, but affects no real change. Black Lives Matter is a modern example of this, as it was co-opted by various corporate and political entities. And the list goes on. And just so anybody's watching this, and lest I be accused of political bias, I purposely wrote this with liberal tactics in mind because that's what we see. That is what the system, the powers that be, the media, the corporations, they all speak the same language, and it's the liberal language. So that is what our country is battling against. The voices of conservatives and patriots are purposely censored or shoved out of the public square. All right, so you're gonna see examples of this bias as we go on. I'm just completely honest with you. All right, the second one is manufactured consensus. Social proof is powerful. If you think everyone believes in something, you're more likely to follow it. You want to do a demonstration of this or a quick experiment? Get you and another person to go into a crowded room and start staring at the ceiling and see how many people start staring at the ceiling. It's amazing. But what if the majority opinion is actually manufactured through a media repetition, fake grassroots campaigns, and bot-driven trends? This tactic makes unpopular policies seem inevitable. A recent example of a manufactured consensus by U.S. media is the widespread promotion of the narrative surrounding the 2020 presidential election and the subsequent response to the January 6th Capitol event. All right, and it goes on. That goes way deep. You see this all the time, and once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you'll start noticing it all over the place. Third tactic is weaponized skepticism. Critical thinking is essential. We say this all the time. You have to look at things with a critical eye. But when it's selectively employed, it becomes a tool for control. PSYOPs encourage skepticism towards alternative viewpoints while reinforcing trust in official narratives. Those who question the mainstream are ridiculed as conspiracy theorists, even when history proves them right. Can anyone in chat put down weaponized skepticism? What the biggest example of that has been in the last 5 years? Let's see if people are paying attention, and let's see if people have been paying attention and can name it. I'll give you a hint. It's probably been the biggest event in everybody's life around the entire world in the last 5 years. Ding, ding, ding. Leonard wins a prize for chiming in first. The prize is you get to listen to Tactic 4, crisis exploitation. Remember this quote? Never let a good crisis go to waste. Fear is a powerful motivator, and those in power know it. Whether it's war, economic collapse, or a pandemic, every crisis presents an opportunity to expand control, suppress dissent, and push through policies that wouldn't be accepted under normal circumstances. This is where the right has been the most egregious in the last 20 years. They committed the biggest sin using this that I can think of, and that's the passing of the Patriot Act. It's a prime example of this tactic. And we see fear. They use fear all the time. The fear mongering that we see from politicians and the media is just, it's epic. The big one right now is that chaos and threat to democracy that's being pandered around. Right now, the fifth tactic, the role of media in PSYOPs. The media isn't just reporting the news; it's creating reality. The repetition, selective courage, and framing, they guide public perception. What's the goal? To ensure that you only see what they want you to see and believe only what they want you to believe. The phrase, "We will tell you the truth," was famously stated by Dan Rather from CBS News during the broadcast in 2004. Literally telling you. And if I remember correctly, Rachel Maddow said that they will tell you what the truth is. They will tell you what you need to know. You don't need to go look at any alternative source. All right. Is everybody up to speed so far? Do we know the 5 tactics? We've got controlled opposition, manufactured consensus, weaponized skepticism, crisis exploitation, and role of the media in PSYOPs. All right. Now that we know this, we've been through that series. This is where it gets important. This is where we learn how to fight back. And this series isn't just about recognizing PSYOPs. It's about resisting them. And it's so important. First thing we need to do, and I say this all the time, develop critical thinking. You should constantly be reading alternative narratives. You should be listening to alternative sources and being very skeptical and critical of everything that you hear, even if it's something you believe in. Question narratives, look for inconsistencies, and seek multiple sources of information. The next one, identify emotional manipulation. Fear, outrage, and division are powerful tools. When emotions run high, ask yourself who benefits. The next one, verify information. I got bit in the behind by this just last week on the Prepper Homestead Continuum video because I didn't verify the information. Just because something is repeated doesn't make it true. Research independently and be wary of fact checkers with an agenda. The repeated repetition of a phrase, the montages of newscast after newscast literally using the same phrase is a tip-off to something being manipulative. The next one, support independent voices. Mainstream narratives dominate because they're amplified. Seek out independent researchers, journalists, and analysts. Doing this is so much easier these days. The internet, even with the censorship we've seen on the major social media platforms, it's extremely easy to find these independent voices and get different views. In fact, a lot of the independent journalists that have YouTube channels are pulling in more people on a daily basis than the big networks, CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC, even Fox. So it's out there, and it's easier today than it ever has been in our entire history. Finally, the last one is think long-term. PSYOPs work because people react impulsively. Take a step back and consider the bigger picture before making decisions. This is a big one, folks. Seriously, this is a big one. Anytime something you feel yourself becoming emotionally charged, take a step back, take a deep breath, let it out, and think about what's going to happen in the long term if you react the way they want you to react. All right. So over the next several episodes, we're going to go deeper into these topics, and we're going to expose real-world examples and practical strategies to help stay informed and resist this manipulation. The battle for your mind is real, guys. Seriously. But knowledge is power. If you can see the game, you don't have to be a pawn in it. All right. Well, that was a quick and easy one. We're at the end of the presentation. The next ones are a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth. I just wanted this to be a brief overview of the series and give you guys an idea of what we're going to talk about. Does anybody have any questions about it? Any comments that you want to share with us and maybe ask? I mean, it's important that we discuss this stuff. More importantly, we need to go discuss this and be with everybody, with somebody else that may not be as aware as we are. And I'm not saying that in a condescending tone way. I'm just saying that they may not have had their eyes open. And the strategy of fighting it is not only for ourselves, it's so that we're equipped with the tools to help others. All right. So if nobody has anything, I'm going to ask you if you want to support the channel. If you're not, first off, if you're not a subscriber and you want to see more of this, subscribe to the channel. Come join us, and we're talking about this stuff all the time. Lynn says, always ask where a thought came from. Often you'll find it isn't your own. It was put there by somebody else. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was one of the things so when we were in Washington, D.C., the office listened to Rush Limbaugh, right? And people that listen to Rush Limbaugh got accused of living in an echo chamber. And I always was concerned about that because I agreed with Rush Limbaugh. I finally realized after years that I did not agree with Rush Limbaugh. He agreed with me. He said what I was thinking much better than I could say it myself. But if you find yourself parroting somebody, whether it's a conservative or a liberal or whoever, if you're parroting something somebody else says, you need to really step back and consider whether you honestly believe that or you're just falling in line with the manipulation that's going on. All right. If you want to help the channel, go hit the links below for our affiliates and get yourself something that's going to help you be a little bit more self-sufficient and free. Oh, Gregory popped in. Even our local news gets their point of view pushed on us. Well, and there's one thing a lot of people don't know, Gregory. There's only like 3 major news outlets that put these stories out. You got Reuters, Associated Press, and UPI. And so they push out most of the stuff, and everything that the local news networks are getting are coming from their major affiliates, which get their news from these 3 outlets. And invariably the bias in these outlets shows through even at the local level. All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to ask about? One thing I want to look over my shoulder right here. See that bag? That is our donation for the raffle at Midwest Preparedness Festival. There's about $300 worth of freeze-dried food in there for a family of 4. If you're going to be local to Midwest Preparedness Festival, you can do it in a day drive. Get out there, get in the raffle, and get an opportunity to win this bag for yourself. All right. New York Times sets the agenda for the day for a lot of people. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, listen. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you sticking around. I know it was short, but I wanted to get through this really quick. And most importantly, I want you guys to go out tomorrow and live a life done free. All right, take care.
Introducing RockPot, the revolutionary portable slow cooking appliance that keeps your meals warm for over 9 hours without the need for electricity or propane. Simply heat the Rock tablet on your stovetop or over a fire, place it in the RockPot with your ingredients, and enjoy perfectly cooked meals wherever you are. Plus, the exterior remains cool to the touch, ensuring safe handling on all your adventures. Get $10 off your first purchase by clicking on the affiliate link and using the code GRUMPYACRES at checkout. Elevate your outdoor cooking experience with RockPot today.